Welcome to Spiritual Truths with your host, Kerry-Marie. Today, I'm delighted to have joining with me Greer Sweetman. Greer's been on our show before, and she's an astrologist. Today, she's going to be talking to us about medical astrology. It's so insightful and important, and how she can help you with your own health and well-being through knowing your charts and your astrology. We want to thank you for being part of our podcast series, Spiritual Truths in Our Spiritual Family. If you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. It helps the podcast and also means you get notifications each time one comes up. Lovely spending time with you. Blessings and love, Kerry-Marie. Hi there. Just before we head into the podcast, I'd just like to give you a quick reminder about my up-and-coming tour, Bridging the Two Worlds 2026. In order for you to receive a discount, you need to get an early bird ticket, and early bird tickets are available until the 30th of November. So head to Event Finder, otherwise go to the link below. I look forward to seeing you there. Blessings and love, Kerry-Marie. Hi, Greer.
Hello.
Hi, it's so good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, and so we connected a little while ago about talking about astrology.
Yes.
And it's something that you really enjoy doing, astrology. So we went through that. But something that came up in our podcast was about medical astrology. And I meant to circle back to it, and we didn't. So I thought, when I watched the podcast, great information, but I thought, why don't we talk about the medical astrology? So it's an opportunity to talk about that down now. So that's what our topic's going to be, is about medical astrology and what is it. So what is medical astrology?
So, medical astrology, I can't answer that question really without delving a little bit into the history about it. So, when astrology, first came out in the medieval times, it was all it all just intertwined. It wasn't separate, like we kind of separated a little bit now. It was medical astrology, but back then, everything was linked. The cosmos, the health, the body, it all intertwined. So you had your likes of Hippocrates, Nicholas Culpeper. These are, herbalists and nutritionists, and they all understood the link between what was happening in the cosmos and how it all links to your body and your health and your psychology. So in short, I guess it's always been part of astrology. It's never been separate from it. And I guess the ways in which, we've learned from what they've done in history is they would use the moon and the timings of, when to pick herbs and when to kind of give people herbs on a certain time of the month, or, certain herbs are ruled by planets. So if someone's lacking something in their chart, you would, say if their Venus had some sort of block, their throat, you would look to the herbs that are ruled by Venus. Wow. And that's kind of, how they would, diagnose. And there's all sorts of things that we can kind of delve into with that. So it all kind of, it was always never separate from astrology. It was always one and the same, medical astrology.
Because I've never heard about it before, because I often listen to astrology and it's more about you as a person and what's happening for you at the moment. It sort of feels quite emotional quite often, or where you are within yourself. But I've never heard of medical astrology, so it's a really good topic to talk about.
Yes, and so I guess to give you a little bit of a breakdown, every single sign rules a certain part of the body. So I can take you through that if you want.
That'd be great.
You've got Aries, which is the head. You've got Taurus, which is the throat. Gemini's shoulders, arms, lungs. Cancer is the stomach and the breasts. Leo's the heart and the spinal cord. You've got Virgo, which is like the small intestine. So that's kind of like your digestive system. And then you've got Libra, which is the kidneys, and then Scorpio, which rules kind of all the reproductive organs and your bladder and your bowel. And then you've got Sagittarius, which rules your hips and your thighs. You've got Capricorn, which rules your knees. And I mean, they all go deeper than that. Capricorn rules the knees, but it's, like the bone and the skeletal system and the skin and the hair and the teeth. And then you've got Aquarius, which rules the calf muscles and the ankles. And then you've got Pisces, which rules the feet. And so that's just very broad, but the planets also rule a certain part as well. So it's kind of one and the same, yeah.
This something's happening to me. This happened to me when I did the colour therapy podcast. And when you're talking, I feel like I'm getting activated.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, I'm going really hot. What's that with you talking about it? That's interesting.
I don't know. Maybe we just covered all the chakras or something. Maybe it's just
it just went really hot.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
that's really interesting. So with these different star signs, and it affects different parts of the body. So does that mean, like for me, for instance, I'm a Capricorn.
Yes.
And I know skeletal because I know one of my knees and knees been a problem, teeth and that sort of thing. And from a little child, I had to go to a chiropractor. So I've always had problems with my alignment and bones. So is that because that's my main sign? You call it the earth sign? Is that what you call it?
Yes. Yeah. I'll give you your chart so you've got something to reference. So that's really cool because I would say if you were someone who had come to me and you're already on the right track with all those things, but if you hadn't been, I'd be saying, you've got lots of planets in Capricorn. Obviously, you're more prone to the skeletal system and the teeth and all of that with problems. So, going to a chiropractor would be a really good place to start, or an osteopath, but also making sure, that you've got lots of vitamin D, calcium, because, those are important for the bones. So that's because you're susceptible in your constitution to be kind of more prone to those issues. That's where you can kind of step in with the whole medical astrology and be like, okay, here's some tips that can help.
And so that's my earth sign.
Yes, yeah. So that's your sun sign.
My sun sign.
Your sun sign, but I mean, you've got Mercury, you've got Jupiter, you've got Saturn.
So many.
So it's called a stellium. So it's whenever there's more than 3 planets in a sign, that's a stellium, and it's almost like it really overdoes it. So that's obviously a really strong part of your health that you really need to focus on in this lifetime.
Really interesting because I had it right from get-go, right from a child. That's really interesting. So anybody watching this, they'll know what their sun sign is. Most people do. And so they'll be able to see, wow, what you've just said, they'll be going through, well, that makes sense because I've got problems like with my reproductive organs, or I've had problems with my ankles stood out to me, like with Aquarius, I think you said it was, or I've got problems with my lungs, or all that sort of thing. Yeah. What about emotional, like mental health issues? Is that connected to any of the sun signs?
Yes. Yep. I mean, mental health, I would be... Where would I? Yeah, so mental health, I would be looking...
For anyone? Yeah.
Well, for anyone, yeah, but there are particular signs that I would say are more prone to it for sure. Yeah.
And what are they? What signs?
I would say the mutable signs, which are Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, okay, so Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. Mercury, the mind.
Yeah.
So obviously the way that things are filtered through the mind, and so their nervous system, or they've obviously got a lot of planets in those particular signs. So there's a lot of emphasis on the mind. And then Pisces is a little bit, how do I explain Pisces? I mean, they're more susceptible to maybe not being so much in reality. They can kind of, it's kind of that hallucinogenic kind of, they can kind of flip in and out of which reality they're in. So there's that kind of instability of not maybe seeing things clearly. So and they're so sensitive, so they take on a lot.
Really sensitive,
And yeah, I only put Sagittarius in there as well because that rules the higher mind. But yeah, I guess I just have grouped them. That's kind of like a simple answer. I would look to those signs for more mental health.
Yeah. I've known a few Pisces, and they're very gentle people, and they're very sensitive people, and like a water sign, aren't they?
Yeah, well, like Kurt Cobain, he was Pisces.
Was he?
So really delves into the highs and lows of their feelings are just high highs, low lows.
And you talked about the Sagittarius being the higher mind. So what's that about?
Yeah, Sagittarius. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say that's a main one for mental health as such, but it certainly is about perception. So, seeing the bigger picture in things, and yeah, they're more open to, having a broader understanding of what's going on, rather than Gemini and Virgo, which are looking more at the mundane details of things. Sagittarius is more about like the bigger picture.
So Virgos are very like this perfectionists, are very much delving into detail, aren't they?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so it's obviously something to be very aware of, I think.
Yes.
It's a good thing to get done, actually, I think, yes. So I was going to ask an overall picture. I'm going to ask you a Sagittarius type question.
Yeah.
So overall, how does that all work? Like, it just doesn't work like with the sun sign, does it? It works with all the different. How does a medical astrology work? You can explain that to us. So, because there's a moon and there's different.
Yeah.
There's Mars and all sorts of Venus and all sorts of things. So how does that work?
Yes. So each planet rules something. So Mars, for example, rules our adrenals. The moon rules your digestion. Venus rules your hormones and your kidneys. So what you can look at is you can kind of see how the planet is operating in a certain sign. So, for example, your moon being in Cancer is actually very strong. So someone who might have a moon in Leo, for example, which is actually not a very, you'd say not a very good placement. It just means they've got a little bit more work to do in terms of their digestion. Looking at their diet or just how they process their emotions. So does that make sense to you? It's like,
so my moon in Cancer, what does that mean?
So your moon in Cancer actually it's in a very strong position in terms of, as long as you are doing or you are processing your emotions and channeling your emotions in a constructive way, eating a healthy moon in Cancer diet, which would look like a very watery diet. So, having stews and soups and fruits and vegetables. If you're doing all those sorts of things, then you would like to think that your digestive system would be all right. The thing is, this is where you start to get really into like the nitty gritty with astrology. Like, you do have some planets that are kind of loosely opposing your moon, which is where you might find there's a little bit of tension, or they might be causing a few more issues than if this moon had no aspects. Does that make sense? That's where it starts to
be a bit of interference.
Yeah, a bit of interference. Yeah.
Quite interesting, because I've always, as little, I've loved fruit from a little girl. Loved it. And Spirit made me look at fruit one day as I needed it. It was really important.
Yes.
And I knew that. And I've always felt with the water, I just felt this huge connection from just even swimming in the water. I just felt amazing.
Yes.
So that got something to do with how I felt, this watery, fluidy.
Yes. And that's another thing is like actually living in the environments. Like I say to clients, if I'm looking at their chart and I'll see, okay, so for you, for example, you've got a lot of earth planets and you've got a couple of water. Living, like if you're ever feeling sick, not just sick, but it's good for you to involve these elements a lot in your life, because you're constitutionally, you've got these things. So, if you are sick, being by the ocean or having baths or involving water in some way, or the earth being around the mountains, like the goat being around nice, like
I love the mountains,
green
the
mountains,
peaceful
and
mountains.
yeah,
I love all those. The nature I just find so healing.
yeah. So for you in particular, that's, if you ever are sick, they're great elements to include, or even just including them in your life in general, just to kind of stay on top of of your health. Yeah,
really interesting, because sometimes when I've done done readings, I've got quite exhausted, as you can imagine. That happens sometimes. And I've gone down the road, and I've just put along by the estuary, I've just put my foot on the sand, just like that. All this stress just goes down into the earth. What's that about? I just feel like the elements.
Yeah, I mean,
I can feel it instantly. It's just so, it's huge. It's this huge change, this huge shift, and it's like, so everything just goes phew, like that. Same as when I go into water.
Yeah,
I love swimming and things like that.
Same. Yeah, it's the ions and releasing everything, transmuting all the. Yeah, that's where I don't know the exact science, but I know that it is obviously taking. It's transmuting all the stuff that you're carrying, and yeah.
I was in the water a lot, and I got those sea lice, and it just really upset me that I couldn't get in the water as much as I'd love to, because I just love it. And that's why I've been on the ocean. Yeah, the water, that makes sense to me. So thank you for that. So that's not your sun sign, that's my moon, which I thought my moon was in Gemini last time we spoke, but I knew there was Gemini somewhere. So where's the Gemini?
So you have a Gemini rising.
Right, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah.
So it's a rising for other people as well. So mine's Gemini, but what does it mean, the rising?
Yeah, so the rising sign, it's the lens that we look out through. It's the way that you express your chart. Your chart kind of comes out through this Gemini way of presenting yourself to the world, and you take information back through, you filter it through this sort of Gemini filter. It's, I guess, like, to make it a little bit more simpler, when you first meet someone for the first time, you will come across as more of a Gemini personality type. You'll be chatty, you'll be inquisitive and have lots of questions, and then I think the more they get to know you, they would then start to see more of the Capricorn traits and the moon in Cancer, but that would take a lot more getting to know you. It's more your social mask that you bring to the world. So it's
quite different in the real me.
Yes.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah. But it's still a part of you. It's just the mask that people will.
So what does Gemini mean, a Gemini mask, for instance, or sort of?
Well, it's important for you guys to really breathe in information and exhale information. So, it's all to do with the lungs.
Right.
So a susceptibility of people that might have too much Gemini in their chart can maybe have asthma,
Oh, interesting.
But again, if they're, there's lots of other things you can do health-wise, but just psychologically, as long as you're continuing that kind of learning. Geminis are they're forever learning, but as long as you're exhaling that information,
so taking it in and breathing it out.
Yeah,
it's like taking out of what they need. It's what it feels like to me, like filtering.
Yes.
That's a lot of information. I won't take it all in. I'll just take in what I can.
Yeah.
Would that be why maybe someone like me with a Gemini rising, is it? Yeah. Can feel overwhelmed if it's too much information?
I would say if you feel overwhelmed, that's starting to sit more in your moon and your Mars, because your Gemini rising just wants information. But I think once it's starting to it's filtering through your chart, you're starting to it's starting to go more into your emotions, and that's where your moon's starting to go like, this is just too much for my nervous system.
Right, okay, too much to deal with.
Yeah.
So it's really been in tune with yourself. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting because for other people watching this, so for me, I can just talk about myself for them to understand. So for me, it's like I'm aware that I'm this chatty person, and I come across as something, but I realise they don't really know me. So now that actually, so if someone gets their chart done, for instance, I think that makes sense. That's why people don't really know who I am.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
That's so important.
It's just the surface of what they're learning about you.
Yeah, interesting. So what other signs come into, other aspects come into medical astrology? So you've talked about the sun sign, you've talked about the moon and your rising, and what else affects your...
So I mean, we would look to, what sign rules the sixth house for everyone, because the sixth house is all about health. So whatever rules your sixth house, that's usually quite a strong indication of where there's a health issue. I would say looking to the rising, the moon and the sun are kind of like the main areas that I would focus on, and then that sixth house. But if someone has other issues going on, then that's when you would start to break down, okay, well, where's that sitting in their chart? What planet rules that?
So what is the sixth house? I don't really understand what the sixth house is.
So in astrology, everyone has a chart that looks exactly like this with 12 houses.
We're going to show that to the camera, quickly.
I'll take a photo of it.
Okay.
And where it differs for everyone is obviously where your planets are. That's what then makes, a unique chart. But each house rules something. So the first house is, like your beliefs. The second house is your values and how you earn your money. The third house is your mind, all about learning. Fourth house is all about your home and family. Fifth house is about children, your passions. Sixth house is all about your dietary habits, just your general like mind, body, spirit connection, and how you like what habits you have, what your diet's like, all those sorts of things. So that's why when I say the sixth house, it's if we're looking to see, okay, what's going on with someone who's come to see me, I would be looking, that's an area I would look to see, is there a planet that's transiting this area right now?
I can't see anything there for me.
This is your natal chart, and this doesn't change. But when we look at transits are what's going on right now, and where does that fall, and what is it doing to your particular chart. So I don't have an example, but that's one way of how we would see.
So your sixth house is where your diet and your lifestyle and that sort of thing, and where it's relating to where the planets are at that time. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, that's just one area we would look at to see, is something being triggered in that particular spot. Yeah. So
that's quite helpful.
So yeah, I'm just giving some examples of how we would look to the chart. But back in time, they would, if someone fell ill, they would bring up what's called a decumbiture chart, and that they spit out a chart that is from the moment you got sick.
Okay.
And that's what they would work from, and they would be able to figure out, okay, this is what's going on. We would predict this illness might hang around for this length of time, and they kind of worked more in that sort of way. And I'm not saying that other astrologers don't do that now, but I just know that in history that's really what they would work from. We nowadays will look to transits, and then we would look to progressions, which is another thing where you progress your chart. So that's all about your natal chart being progressed to how you've evolved to today. So for example, you were born as a Capricorn. I don't have the chart here, sorry, because I didn't have my computer this week. It was getting fixed, but I know that you've progressed to a Pisces.
Have I? Yeah.
Yeah. So that in itself, you'd be looking to Pisces, maybe, health things of like, what that might mean for you.
My emotional sensitivity side.
Your sensitivity, yep, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It makes sense at the moment.
So I don't want to, I know it's a lot to take in,
Yeah,
but I'm trying
I
to
understand
simplify.
where I am at the moment about that emotional, sensitive side.
Yeah. So these are the sorts of things that people would break down, like astrologers would break down to figure out what's either what's caused it, or it could be as simple as just looking in your natal chart. If someone does have, a particular planet in a sign and they're suffering from that, and it's like, okay, well, let's look to where that is in your chart. Are you doing this? Are you,
So say for me, it makes sense about going to the progress. It sounds like I've gone towards
evolutionary
it. So it feels like a good thing.
Yes, yeah.
So progress. So obviously that's something that my innate self, my inner self knows that I need to work through a little bit, because mediums are very sensitive and emotional people, and how that affects me. So my intuition's leading me there as well.
Yes.
Okay.
How long have you done mediumship? Like, have you been doing
I've
that?
been an active medium. Oh, well, I started.
Is it I feel like you were at 17 degrees. I can't actually remember, but I was like, is it around 17 years or something? Or?
It's interesting. I think I started earlier than that.
Yeah.
20-something, but I became like a professional medium. I really got into it about 17 years ago. Like I trained as a medium, but I really got into going to Arthur Fundy College, and around that time, that's when I really actually, you're right, it was about it was around that. My mum had just died.
Oh, okay.
So that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Around 2008, whenever that is. So that would be, I don't know how long ago. Is that 17 years ago?
It is 17,
that was 2008.
Yeah.
So that's really at the time I got married. But at that time, that's when I really started changing. And
yes, yeah. See,
and my mum died just after. It was around that time I really threw myself into it a lot more and progressed. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? So we've got, I'll just take it back. So we've got the sixth house. Was it sixth house? What's the seventh house? How many houses are there?
Yeah, there's 12. So yeah, the seventh house is all about your relationships, your business partnerships. The eighth house it's quite a complex one. That's about joint money. It's also psychology. It's about taxes, inheritance.
Wow.
Death, birth. That's quite a complex house, and the fact you've got a lot of planets there, and you deal with, people that have passed, and delving into the truth and kind of getting to the bottom of things. That's a very like Scorpio 8th house kind of energy.
And also my husband with his business is a lot of like tax and business stuff
and
money and that sort of thing, definitely. Yeah,
and see, this is the thing, you say there's different variations of how people's charts can play out. For you've gone into, at which the progress kind of tells you more of the story that you've progressed into that mediumship. But, someone else with a chart like this could, be working at a bank or working in like quite high corporate roles. It just depends where the person is, evolution, and what your soul contract is and what you've come here to.
It's really interesting though, because I love mediumship and that's my purpose, but I also love business.
Yeah.
And I sort of part of my husband's business, so it makes sense.
You've got the skills for sure. Yeah.
And I don't feel quite fulfilled unless I have some sort of business thing as well.
Yeah. And
that makes sense.
You've got those, and even Capricorns naturally are, they're really good at.
I'm going really hot. Interesting. So that's the 8th house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is interesting because 8 is connected to money and numerology.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. And what's 9 then?
9th house is about your beliefs. It's the closest house to God, actually.
Oh, okay.
So you've got Venus there. The fact that you channel a lot of higher messages, like that makes sense.
I've got a lot of strength in there. Is it?
Strength. Yep, and a lot of kind of teachers. It's kind of the mentoring house, the teacher, like people that are the gurus or whatever. 10th house is very much about your career, your vocation. I mean, these are very brief descriptions. Like, these two houses rule being a parent as well.
Right, yeah.
And they rule your parents. The 11th house is very much about your friendships and the groups and the organizations that you belong to, and your ideals of, how you want the world to be. And then the 12th house is the 12th house is quite complex as well. It's endings. It's karma, it's endings, it's spiritual, it's all about we're all one and we're all connected, you know.
It makes me really hot again.
So that's just a little bit of a brief kind of outline as to what the houses represent.
And I noticed you got lots of scribbles in the middle.
Oh, the computer does that, yeah. They're just
Does it? Is it connecting
it's
everything?
just connecting, yeah, it's just doing calculations of what planets are connecting to what ones.
How interesting.
Yeah.
How interesting. So, it sounds quite complex as well.
It is complex, which is why I want to keep trying to like simplify
That's
it.
right. No, it's good to give people an idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how can it assist people? Like, like looking at their medical chart, how can it assist them?
Yeah, so I think one way, or there's many ways. So yeah, you could go to an astrologer and get a more of an understanding with, what you're constitutionally more prone to, have health issues with, and they might take you through certain supplements, or depends on their background. Some might be into buck flowers or sow salts, or it just really depends on what the astrologer's background is as to how they might give you some advice. Some might have Ayurvedic backgrounds, and the doshas kind of all connect to the elements, and if you've got more elements, then you're more kapha or whatever. So that's one way in which it can help you.
And they could also reference you, because I often refer people to other people.
Yes.
So if you went to got your medical astrologer, doesn't mean you necessarily have to get treatment from them. You can go somewhere else.
And then refer on, for sure. Exactly. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. We can even look at, what modalities you're more suited to. Like, you really do suit chiropractic work, for example.
Yeah.
And then you can use your chart. So for some people, maybe fertility.
Interesting. Fertility, that's a good one.
Yeah. So for example, there's a certain window when getting pregnant. They say for everyone between, the certain days is when you are most likely to conceive. Well, in astrology, we also look to things like what moon phase were you born under, because that's also known to be your most fertile time. So understanding that, and there's also other things that we look to that just in terms of timing of when is a good time. But I don't like to emphasize too much, because I think it's quite a personal journey with people.
But it's a really good thing for people watching this podcast that want to get pregnant or having fertility issues.
Yes, yeah.
So it could be very helpful.
Yeah, just giving them some insight and some tips around that. And then what else? Getting surgery. So I realize, if you're going public, you don't really get a choice what date is set. But if you did have a choice, if you're going private, knowing when is probably ideally you don't really want to be having an operation around a full moon, because your body is more, the fluid is higher, blood volume is higher, more likely for complications. You also ideally don't want to be going in under a moon that rules that body part. So for example, if you were getting hip surgery, you wouldn't be wanting to go in when the moon is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules the hips. And then little things like looking at what the ruler of Sagittarius, which is Jupiter, like just making sure that the aspects aren't too, like there's nothing too gnarly going on. So there's things like that you can, if you really want to get into it, you can use astrology for timings, around those.
So somebody when he wants to get some sort of, they know they have to get some sort of surgery done.
Yeah.
I've got someone on my mind at the moment. They can consult you and they can think that's the best time for me to do it.
Yeah, like even I was just thinking cosmetic surgery, like Venus goes retrograde every 18 months and you wouldn't want to be going in ideally under like a Venus retrograde, like it's just little things like that.
Why is that?
Because it's just not in its full potential or power, like it's not operating at its most potential, you would say.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So and also when things are when like something like Venus or Mercury's retrograde, unless they're kind of going back in to redo something that they've wanted to do from a long time ago, or they're going back in to do something else that's a little bit different. There can be, sometimes going under a retrograde it's not always going to cause something. But if you can help it and if you can avoid it, these are the sorts of things that astrologers will look for and try and avoid.
Something came up for me, you're talking about this, was, sometimes you get those roadblocks, or you're just trying to push something. It could be to do with health or even financially or all sorts of things you're trying to make happen, and you just get blocked. You just know.
Yeah.
And you try to push it and you regret it if you do. So in a way, it's just probably to do with your planets and your own intuition. That's just in the spirit world, just trying to say that actually this is not the right time.
It's not the right time. Yep, definitely. Yeah.
My timing's so important, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is why I love astrology, because the way my brain works from when I was younger, it's kind of like, why aren't these things happening like when you want them to, and then when you can really release and start to work more with the timings and the energy, and that's another thing, is like even understanding what transits are going on in your chart can give you more of an understanding as to, okay, how am I going to work with this more? And you're less likely to have health issues because you're not blocking the flow and you're trying to work more with it. Say for example, someone's going through a Saturn return. I'm sure you've heard of a Saturn return. Yeah. I mean, it happens like once every 30 years. And you would be like, okay, cool. Saturn's really asking me to kind of take on more responsibility, really step into my authority and into my power and things. And so if you know that and you know where it is in your chart, you're more likely to accept those lessons instead of resisting that pressure that you're feeling, because you will be feeling an internal pressure to make decisions and, do things. And I think that's a cool way of just, if you can work more with that, then you're going to help alleviate any health issues, because the more you're trying to resist it, you're going to come up with health issues, Cause
interesting. I just go with my feeling, I know.
Yeah.
So the transit, can you explain what transit is again?
Yeah, the transits are when the planets are kind of moving around the outside of your chart, and so how they're affecting your chart
affecting you
at the moment, at that time. Yeah.
Interesting. So okay, so basically we did talk about this. It consists of decisions with your own health, particularly with surgery, or getting some treatment even.
Yes.
Okay, so is it something that, when I look at it, is it something that everybody should get done regularly, like once every couple of months, once a year, once 6 months? You know how long you go for one checkup at the doctor, or like look at dental hygiene and things like that.
Yeah.
Is it something that you should get done? How often should you get your chart done for your medical astrology?
Well, because I guess if you're just wanting to understand the constitution, I mean, that doesn't change. So, like once you've been to an astrologer and you understand it, that won't change. It's probably if you're going through some sort of health kind of issue, I think maybe that's when you would probably want to reach out and be like, hey, or if the timing, like wanting to understand getting a surgery date or with pregnancy. So I think it depends on what what's going on for you health wise. That's
interesting. I really feel it's connected.
Yeah.
I really do. And I tell you why I feel that. It's because, like I said, I just got the words, the source. And I just know that I feel intuitively, I know when things are right and when they're wrong. I just know that. And I think I got some intelligence, some amazing intelligence. It's connected to the astrology as well. It's all like they say divine timing.
Yes, yeah.
And it's really interesting. I did a reading on my Facebook, Spiritual Decisions. I got Spiritual Decisions Psychic Medium. I do readings, and it was all about timing. Yeah, and I think the timing is just so important. And I feel I just know intuitively.
Yes, yeah.
It's a numerology can come in as well. I think it's all just connected, isn't it?
Definitely it's all connected, yeah, for sure.
That's interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
So is your passion is medical astrology? What's your passion?
Well, I mean, like I've definitely done some foundational courses with medical astrology, and like I think because I've now stepped into the homeopathic role as well, medical astrology I would think will only become more and more something that I really do focus on. At the moment, I think I deal more just with, people just wanting to understand their relationships or timings.
I just got a message about that, but I'll tell you later. I just heard.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just heard something then.
But yeah, people, I mean, people don't reach out so much for the medical, the health side of things. But yeah, I would say I would push it more once I've done my homeopathic chronic study.
I just got, maybe they should.
Yeah.
I certainly am a lot more interested in it, and I think it's just understanding your own constitution.
Yeah.
It just makes sense, and even the fact that the water, I knew the water was something for me, and I like juices, and I had a smoothie this morning for breakfast. I was like, yummy. Like I love things that are like more fluidy, like soups, and I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot,
and you can't deny. I think even when I look back, when I was younger and I was studying, and I wanted to eat a more vegetarian diet, I just did not suit it. Like I just knew, I tried it and it just didn't work. And because I've got a Leo moon, we actually need very high iron diet, and they just Leo moons really suit meat, like having red meat in their diet. And it's just like, when I learned that, like reflecting, it's like, yeah, I definitely tried to be vegetarian, it just did not work for me.
I've really tried as well, even though I'm a lot more plant-based now, but I've also learned that I can't, I've just got to do something that's right for my wee body. Yeah,
definitely.
Look after yourself. And I love plant food diets. They're wonderful. I think they've got a real good place.
And a lot of so air moons really suit a vegetarian diet, and so many people that I come across with air moons are all vegetarians.
Oh, really?
And so that's what I mean. It's like some things you can't deny. You can see it, and it fits that person's constitution.
Yeah. I know one of my lovely friends. She's gorgeous, and she does homeopathy. And she just said when she started going vegan, she just felt amazing.
Oh, wow.
She felt incredible. She just felt it was right for her.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've gone more whole food and plant-based, but I'm incorporating protein. I didn't realise how much proteins in grains and things. I never knew that.
Yes, yeah.
So I think it's really important to make sure you look at the nutritional value of things, isn't it?
Definitely, yes. 100%.
And I will be interviewing a lovely nutritionist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's really to help people. But what I want to say, someone actually said to me, an nutritionist, Amanda, I actually interviewed her, we're all different. We're all individual. That's the thing, isn't it? We're all different. Not one thing fits everyone.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And you got to do what's right for you.
Yeah.
I just heard Spirit talking to me. So I'll come through back in a minute to that.
Yep.
Someone's here waiting to talk to you. Mm-hmm. So how do people get hold of you? Because I think you've got such a great gift to offer the world.
Oh, thank you. You can get hold of me at sweetmanastrology.com.
And they can get their medical astrology done?
Yeah. I mean, that's as long as they kind of point out that's what they want. Yeah, I can definitely do that for sure.
And so what sort of astrology do you offer people?
Well, on my website, like I've got your natal chart, so we go through that.
What do you mean by the natal chart?
So we would look at, what have you been born with? What's your blueprint?
Okay.
And that's obviously probably more focusing on the psychology. And then, I can look at their solar return. So what have you got in store for the year ahead from your
solar return?
your birthday? So that kind of
interesting.
That brings out a chart. And we look at, okay, what does this chart mean for the year? This is where you're kind of focusing.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and then like relationship charts, looking at the synergy between you and your partner or you and your daughter or whatever.
That could be very helpful, useful.
Yes, and then conscious parenting charts, which are written, and they're for people who want to understand their babies a little bit more. So I word it in a way that's, more suited to...
I said to someone recently actually about understanding someone, like a friend or a partner or a child, understanding their personality and why they are the way gives you you can deal with it better or
More
understand.
compassion,
You got a
yeah.
lot more compassion or understanding, yeah.
Definitely. I mean,
Rather than
it's-
judgmental, yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I love it, because for me anyway, that was my way of trying to not judge people, because it's like I don't want to judge people. I want to understand why they wired the way they are, you know? Like, but I think
Yeah.
you've got to kind of be motivated to, I don't know,
I love understanding people. It makes
to
them
understand
tick.
people. Yeah, I feel like it's some people are more motivated to.
I don't know why. It must be in
Yeah.
the chart somewhere.
Yeah.
I've got this real search for understanding people and psychology and all that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, that's all your 8th house stuff.
Is it? Yeah.
That's the psychology. And your North Node, you've got Pluto conjunct. See how that's 7-7? So, yeah, psychology is huge for you.
Yeah,
Like,
it's massive.
yeah,
I wanted to be a
it's
psychologist at one point. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge for me.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right.
I've just got this, and I also came through and you sat down, this tall man next to you again
Yeah.
in your aura, and a nice fella, I hear, and he's with you. We know who it is now because he's your cousin.
Cousin, yeah.
Yeah, and you really make him happy because he loves what you do.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
nice.
but I just heard a grandmother come through again, and she said, she come through and said, I feel she's quite feminine because I feel feminine.
Yeah.
I feel I love the roses.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, she loved flowers, and she loved babies, and
Yeah, just loving and
it's just
gentle and
lovely.
caring, like
Yeah.
that sort of that feminine, gentle, sensitive,
Yes, very
beautiful,
sensitive, yeah.
beautiful soul.
Yeah.
But she's just like you, I think, very much like you.
Oh,
And she just said to me, which is beautiful, she said she wants to give you a basket full of love.
oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah, and she's very close.
Yes.
And I got 32, so something must have happened to you at 32.
Yes, yeah, I got pregnant.
You got
yeah,
pregnant. Oh,
yeah.
wow, interesting. Okay. And then it's really interesting because what you said so many times in this podcast is we're all connected, or it's all connected. And I was talking about the connection of everything as well. And she comes through and she says, I'm going really tingly. Wow. And she said, did you know we're all connected? Now, this is beautiful here. She talks about the butterflies as well. Lovely. And birds as well. This is lovely. She said, you are chosen, you've been selected. Now, isn't that amazing? It's important to let your gift flow. I speak through your heart. You light up and glow. And she tries to get messages through to you. And then she says, we're all one. Joined through love. It gives you peace, a sign of the dove. And it's interesting how you mentioned the bird before. So she's with you a lot. Yeah. And she loves daffodils, so I feel springtime's really important.
Oh, okay. That makes me wonder if it was my nana.
Was she quite,
Well, she was really into a garden.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she was quite feminine?
Yeah. They both.
I
They
think one
both-
was quite spiritual or churchy or something as well.
Well, she was very churchy. But
Churchy.
then-
She churchy said
yeah,
church.
Yeah, so that would be my mum's mum.
Yeah, she's churchy. It's her.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
church one. She's quite determined. So it's a different grandmother this time.
I mean, the other one's really Catholic, but I mean, yeah, my nana definitely was, in the garden a lot. So
Yeah.
I think it was my mum's
And she's
mum.
talking about the butterflies and the birds and all that. So she's
Yes.
also with you. She thinks you're
Yes.
very special.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah, and she loved her daughter.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm at peace now.
Oh, yeah.
And she really looks after you. So
Oh, that's nice.
she could be a bit matter of fact at times.
Gosh, it could be either of them. at
Yeah,
this
maybe they
point.
come together.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about it.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes, how spiritual works. It's quite good for listeners to hear that because sometimes when I'm doing a reading, I spend more time, and I'm not going to do this for the podcast. I feel one's more gentle than the other one. That's what I do feel.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Which one's the most gentle one? I get more gentle.
I think my mum's mum.
Yeah, I'm getting the gentle one.
Yeah.
That's the
okay,
main one
yeah.
I'm getting here.
Yeah.
The other one's there, but this is more. So the other one's come in and said, I just said it as it is, sort of thing. But I did definitely get the churchy one and the gentle one. Okay?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But
She
the other
loved
one's
cooking.
there. The other one, loves
She loved
cooking.
cooking.
She's there. But and the times in the garden, but I want to say that when you, say if you walk into a room or meet people and you start talking and someone else comes in and then someone else comes in, this is what happens with spirit. They all come in together because they're all connected. And I'll start giving a reading and then someone else butts in. like you do in life. Like, you know, you're in and you start talking and someone comes in with something. This happens to me as a medium. So I'll start giving someone a reading.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I just got this thing, and then I can be clear audience, and I hear something else, and it's like that's what it is. But when I go to the person that gave you the basket full of love, was definitely the gentle person, and the other one had to come in and give us 10 cents worth. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To let you know that she's your on your father's side. Yeah.
Yes, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And they say yellow's good for you.
Yellow. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I got the daffodils. Yellow's good for you.
Okay,
And I
yes.
just did a podcast on colour therapy as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so I learned so
Yellow.
much today, and thank you for looking at my chart.
Yeah,
and I
no
really
worries.
think that people should companies should come and see you and get that looked at. 'Cause I think, especially when you're like, what's my constitution? Why am I the way that I am? Because there's this deeper understanding. I think people sort of know it subconsciously. I think also to see if I've got something going on for a moment, why, and then. And say health-wise, mentally or physically, and also do planning some surgery. It's really important.
Yes,
so I can really see how important this is. So thank you so much for coming.
No
And
worries.
see
Thanks
you
for having
again.
me.
You're welcome. See you again.
See ya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.